really hard. Super technical. Didn't get last place, but didn't come anywhere near first. I blew up probably like on the second lap. New max heart rate, 189. Really technical, but lots of fun. And I hope to do another race here in the next couple weeks. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, here we are, Saturday's race. And man, it was such a workout. Like I said, super intense. Starting out here, first lap, everybody's hitting it. I don't know what to expect. All I know is they go full gas. Try to pick not such a crowded line here. And I don't know if I did it as good. I rode the actual line a couple times and I don't know if I went any faster. This is my good buddy Fergus here with one of my favorite looking bikes on the planet, the Ritchie Swiss Cross. All red everything, red saddle, red bar tape. It's dope. Man, we're already hitting it. As we go into this first hill here, I noticed that I like to get off and run up it. There are people going up on their bike, but this next turn right here, I had went down because it was so slippery when I test rode the course that I went down right there and I just found it less efficient. So someone recommended me running through it and then getting back on my bike afterwards until I get the hang of the course. That didn't really happen. Then around the next corner, here's the 2 hurdles. Not so hard. I think my next goal is to try to bunny hop those because I've seen people doing it and they're way more efficient. At this point, I'm kind of feeling it already and I'm just trying to get back onto the group. So I don't know what else to do really. I've never raced a cyclocross race. This is my first race ever. I did do one rodeo cross last year, but that doesn't really count. I'll be doing a rodeo cross tomorrow night, so I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. I've been resting for 4 days. A couple guys are passing me here, and we're starting to make our way into the next grass section, and we're going up. Eventually, after I rode this a few laps, I learned that I didn't have to use my brakes so much. I'm using my brakes a lot here, which is eventually just hurting me in the long run because I'm getting tired faster because I'm using more energy, because I'm slowing down and then having to accelerate again. The thing that I learned with this is I was accelerating really hard and then getting to people and having to slow down and then accelerating again. I wasn't used to those punches. I can do an endurance 5-hour ride, no problem, with pretty decent numbers. But when it comes to stop and go, that's another story. So Creighton right here in front of me on the right, super strong kid. He's like 17 maybe. I think this is his second race. Kid was bunny hopping barriers. Just super strong kid. Definitely lots of potential. Probably a bright future as an athlete. Was an insanely good runner. His father was kind enough to let us stay with him when we raced the Chico stage race a few years ago. Just great family all around. So making my way up onto the next section of grass, kind of hanging with these dudes for a little bit, and I'm just really feeling it. As you can see, there's plenty of dudes behind me, and they're all the Masters guys. So I raced the Open Bs, but behind us was like 35s, 45s, 55 Masters. I'm not in the Masters category yet, I got another year or so. This little section wasn't too bad here. We go around this turn, and I think this first time I used the brakes a little bit, but it seemed like it was pretty smooth because I'm there with the guys still. But that turn, you didn't really need to use the brakes at all. Backed off a little right here. I think I bumped into this guy that's next to me. You can't really see him. But then I took too far on the inside, so I slowed down, and then they just accelerated away. Upcoming is the sand pit. Sand pit was pretty gnarly. I made it through about one time, like okay, without getting off my bike. This one isn't too bad. But as you can see, I slowed down quite a bit. And then we go into this next one right here, and it's just pretty gnarly. So I think this is the one I actually made it through. The first time I made it through, following Creighton, the strong kid, go around the turn, and he's just hammering. The kid is so strong. It's insane. He's like 16, 17. Here he is just hammering into the next sand section, motoring. Super fit. But he also happens to have the Giant TCX, which is really awesome. And it's the off version orange, not quite like my red one, but it's pretty dope. Anyways, back to the race. I'm over here trying to hold this junior's wheel. And man, I am hurting big time. I set a new FTP heart rate for 20 minutes, 189 max heart rate, and I averaged that for 20 minutes. My power, on the other hand, wasn't calculated because my power meter didn't calibrate properly. I wasn't able to calibrate it before the race, so I just said screw it, and I did the race with no power. But I know that I was going hard to where I pretty much blew up and then just kept trying to go as hard as I could without completely like bonking. So we're going up this hill here. It wasn't too bad of a hill. And then we go down a little, got some people yelling at me saying, go Remy. And then you make it up over this hill and then you go into the back section. By this point, you're pretty trashed, but it's not that technical or difficult. It's a sidewalk, goes into the flat dirt section, not super loose, it's pretty packed. And then you go around this one turn. I realized you didn't have to use the brakes that much and you can just kind of coast all the way around it. And by doing that, you were able to come out of this way more efficiently than using the brakes through. Then we go on to the back stretch. Now this road is leading us to where we started the race. Yes, we're still on lap 1. I know, it's intense. So here we come into the last turn, up into the straightaway where we started the finish line. And I mean, I'm having trouble just trying to even catch back up to Creighton. The dude's a machine, a junior machine. Back on the second lap, I was doing pretty good. And then I'm coming up to this next climb again, and I actually tried to climb it. And I made it up, but not in an easy enough gear. Jumped off my bike, and here I go, running around. And I got Gus over here filming me, put it on his story. That was him and his wife standing there. Super rad. Thanks, Gus. And then I jump back on my bike and go back down and head around the corner. Here we come over the barriers. And I think I remember getting on my bike right here, and as you can see, the guys just like kind of take off. And then I'm over here trying to catch these guys. I'm just getting passed by so many dudes. The other guys ditch me, these guys are passing me. And I think this is the point where I just absolutely redlined super hard. And we're making it up a little slump, and then off through the backside, and then we're coming up over this hump. And this is just one turn right here that I had to realize after going around 3 times that the less brake, the better. The more brakes you had, the more you slid. And if you just let off the brake, you can just go right through this turn. And, you know, I was just kind of sketchy about trying it with no brakes, especially hitting a brake before I go up this. When I didn't use any brake, it was so much more consistent going up around the turn and then hitting this turn also. Brakes aren't always great. So, the reason why I was a little sketchy doing this course was because in the pre-ride, right when I showed up over the bridge, I just went down the grass. I had 40 PSI in my tires, and this guy went down in front of me, and all I did was tap my brake, and I just went straight down to the ground, and I just went straight into his back, and my handlebar went into my leg, causing like a huge bruise. So my leg was a little sore going into the race, but it didn't seem like it was anything. So I've been off for 4 days and my leg's bruised, but I think I'm gonna be fine. It's just below the muscle of my leg and above my knee. But here's Antonio's teammate who actually got second in the Masters. He is just hammering through the sand. It's a little squirrely, but it's loose sand, so I mean, you can't really expect much else. And we're back here going down. I learned not to use brakes on this turn. It was a lot smoother, but then I used too much on this turn, slowing down, and it didn't come out very smooth, and the guys rode away from me. It's a life lesson. Back through a little sand and up the hill. We got Chris's dad, Jeff, here shooting photos. Jeff Namba. Thanks for shooting photos, Jeff. And then back to the straightaway, lap number 3. I'm completely trashed at this point. Trying to pick a different line on the left side, the line that everybody else took. There's nobody around, so I'm trying to see what I can do. I'm trying to get familiar with the course. That's all you can do. It's not like a road race where you're just hammering. It's technical. Little out of breath here. And I'm just getting ready for lap number 3 through the grass. Super smooth, one-footed it through here, clipped back in and pedaled around this dude. And I made sure I called out and said on your left so you knew it was there. Not sure if he had a flat or not. Didn't look like he was hurt. Going to this next section, I'm coming up to the Cliff Bar Hill where the crank tent is that I ran up every time and I rode up last time. And just through this little S-turn here. And I decided nobody was with me, so I was gonna ride up and try to ride through the section that I've been running through. So I make it up, going a little slow, go around, and as I go down, I was a little too sharp, and I start to slide out. I hit my back brake and save it, and the bike comes up to my face, and the guy's like, major style points for this guy. But as I'm running up the hill, my bike is on the drive side, which is the left side of my body, which I'm not used to jumping on. So I'm running right now, still. I ran around the corner. As I was running around, I switched my bike to the right side, but realized I would have had to got off for this anyway, so I ran all the way through these hurdles. And by this point, I was completely toast. Just demolished. And I'm just getting passed by more dudes. And it's really hard to deal with as an athlete because I'm used to being so strong, and then coming out here and getting passed by like dudes, you know, that might not be even close to as fit as me, but when it comes to this type of stuff, they just know how to conserve energy and save their strength, and you know, I didn't have those strengths today, so it's okay. It's a learning experience, and if you're an athlete, you're gonna have to deal with those experiences, otherwise you're not gonna get very far. So as we come back up, I'm gonna take that next turn that I usually hit on the brakes, and I think this time I decided not to use so much brake, which was a little smarter, and I just coast right through. Probably could use a lot less brake because those guys are going, and at this point it's a little warmer so the grass isn't as slippery. Through the mud section, around the turn. This time I took it without a brake and just came right through, and I feel like that was pretty smooth. The acceleration was good. And then into the dirt section here, and I think that right here my foot came unclipped and I literally just got stuck, so I was trying to like 1 foot pedal it through without getting off my bike, and that just slowed me down a ton. And then as I come around this turn here, I believe that I'm gonna have Ted passing me. He's a masters racer for Folsom Bike, super strong dude, super kind. Ted is super awesome. I've known him over the years. Here he is right here. I knew it was coming. And he's like, come on Remy, let's go, trying to cheer me on, just having fun. This guy started like a minute behind me probably, or 30 seconds to a minute behind me, and caught me and passed me. Dude, super strong and very knowledgeable, and has a lot of experience with racing these races. He's been racing for a long time, and as you can tell, it looks like he's taken the course quite well. So we're on to the second half of the course here, and I'm just doing everything I can to finish the course somewhat at a respectable pace. And we get through the sand. Here comes another master passing me, and we're going up the hill. And you know, I'm just trying to make it work. And going around this turn, I kind of started to like this part of the course just because it wasn't as hard, and I got to like breathe a little bit. This turn was pretty good. I just had to really focus on this next turn here because I felt like I was going really slow and I had no speed. And then as you can see, this other kid passes me on the inside here. So this whole time I'm racing, I'm dissecting the ride as it's happening, trying not to let myself get discouraged, because I mean, this is hard. As you can see, I've got passed by like a ton of dudes, and this is like edited footage. This isn't even, you know, the whole race. But, you know, so coming up on this hill and hitting the last backside, this is the last lap that I allowed to edit. I didn't want to go through any more laps with you guys because it was pretty slow after this. I ended up doing 2 more laps, and I got a little bit better riding the course. But man, it was really tough, but it was a humbling experience because, you know, going out and riding all the time and thinking your fitness is one thing, and going out and doing a 40-minute workout like this and just getting put in your place, it's pretty hard to swallow. But man, I'm really excited to do another cyclocross race. I'm gonna do Miller Park, which is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And then I'm gonna do Lane Quinn's Winery cyclocross race on the 17th of November. But tomorrow I'm gonna do rodeo cross, so I hope to see you guys out there. And I'm just gonna keep swinging at the bees and try to get some experience. But for anybody out there that has never raced cyclocross, I'm not an expert. This is my first race. If you have any questions, let me know down below. And if you guys want to see my race with power, I feel like this video is all it's missing, is power. So what do you guys want to see in the upcoming ride videos, race videos? This is somewhat new to me, over talking the race, but I felt like it might help. Thanks for watching.